Good Thursday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and SUVs and motorcycles and dogs and the kid and the property. And wow, look at the grass. We had a frost. How about that? Wow. Hey, good morning there. Thanks for everybody watching my channel. Appreciate anybody new watching my channel to listen to me talk in the morning conversations where I try to share my ideas of the cars and motorcycles and trucks and sometimes the state of the times. And I just try to get creative of my own. And that's kind of why I like to make the morning conversation. I like to talk and just share some ideas with others. And hopefully you enjoy that. So what are we doing today? I've been thinking to myself this morning, what could be the Thursday morning conversation? And for me, it's like, it's already Thursday. Each time I turn on my video in the morning to actually start the video, I think to myself, what day is it? I mean, it's just like, wow, as you progress, it just seems that life goes by so much quicker. And just another beautiful fall day here in the Northern Virginia, Maryland area near DC. And it's a cool morning. And that's why you see the frost on the ground. The first probably official frost here for the fall, I think. I didn't even know we were having that happen this morning, but yeah, so anyways, I like to make some conversations each day and have a theme. And if you're watching my channel on a daily basis, we know the Monday conversation was the multi-brand conversation. The Tuesday conversation was the flaws conversation. The Wednesday conversation was the strong conversation. And I thought, I guess we'll make a week, a W-E-A-K, week like you don't have strength conversation. I don't think I've had one of those. And I thought, hey, I'll start the conversation off this morning on the weakness of others, weakness of vehicles. And I thought to myself, you looked at these two vehicles here, and I said to you, one vehicle has a V8 motor in it, and one motor, this other vehicle has a 6-cylinder motor in it. Which vehicle would you think would be the more powerful vehicle? Now, for me growing up, I'd always have been the V8 type of guy. Never been really the big 6-cylinder guy, but I'd immediately say, well, this V8 vehicle here by far is the more powerful vehicle. Well, actually it's not. That inline 6 is a 500 horsepower vehicle. This vehicle here, I think this is a 375 horsepower V8 motor, I think. It's a 5.7 liter motor. They could have raised it up a little bit, but I don't think it's any 400 plus motor. You have to go to the 6.4 392 motor setup, which that's even a V8 motor availability in the Grand Wagoneer, and that doesn't even have as much power. It's 485 horsepower. So the inline 6 is the stronger of the two. So this is the weaker engine in comparison. Today's world is the inline 6 twin turbo. Wow. Here's the electric vehicle, and we're going to talk about the power electric vehicle. It's all a battery pack, but yeah, for the record, yeah, this probably beats them all in the actual power in all-wheel drive vehicle. What's incredible here, these manufacturers, it cracks me up. They build these nice cars, and they put these really nice wheels and tires on the vehicles. And this vehicle here, technically today, I'm sitting here stuttering. This vehicle can't be driven because this vehicle has summer performance tires on it. And if you read inside the door jamb, it'll actually tell you that if it's 45 degrees or colder, it's not safe to drive that vehicle. How about that, huh? Here's the Mustang over here. What's incredible is that Mustang there is more powerful and actually faster. This is more powerful and faster than that good old V8 motor Mustang over there. So in that aspect, this is the stronger of the two, and that's the weaker of the two. Ram truck over here. This is a 2015 Ram truck, and in today's standards, this truck's engine is very weak in the diesel market because of the advanced technology in the last 8 years of just these diesel motors. It's incredible. My dogs are kind of running aloof here this morning as I slowly make it over to the barn. But just a really beautiful fall morning here. Come on, not much of a breeze. And that's the thing. In the fall months, Mother Nature has to get windy to shake all these leaves off these trees. I don't think people sometimes think about that. And that's why you get so much wind, is Mother Nature wants to get all these leaves off. So if the snows come in, they don't get as harmed as much. Think about snow's coming in on fully leaved trees. Think about the weight on all those tree branches. It would make these trees snap and be a lot of problems. So Mother Nature has to get the wind going to shake all these leaves off. And then in the springtime, late winter, the winds come back because it's got to clean out all the leftover debris to get the new leaves going. Not really anything that's magical on understanding that. Let's get the dogs in, because the dogs will become a problem as we go into the Powerhouse Muscle Car Garage. I mean, sincerely, I think I've got the muscle car garage. And for me, growing up as a very young person, I just can't emphasize enough that this was my dream. This is my dream, for me, owning lots of cars and never realizing I would actually have the capability to have such incredibly powerful cars. And so, come on, pups, get you guys in and continue the week conversations on. And for me, does it look like I have a weak supply of vehicles? Does it look like I have weak performing vehicles? In some aspects, I do, because that's an Indian motorcycle hat, and I've got a very weak Pursuit that's just so, disappointing. I'm so disappointed. An Indian brand that's known, it's a known problem. What's unfortunate to me is I just kind of separated myself from the Indian brand. When I got that Harley, I just wasn't in tune that all these Indian Pursuits are having this weakness in them of having the front tire, the front end. You can call it the tire, the wheel, but the front end, wobble, shimmy. But let's not focus totally on that right now. And once again, let's look at what is in my collection, and what you would think would be the weak vehicle versus the strong vehicle. And it's just incredible for me, and how I'm such a Ford Raptor guy. I do have a Ford Bronco Raptor in there, a Ford F-150 Raptor guy. You would have had a hard time convincing me that this Ford Power Boost here a year ago would have been the better choice for me buying a truck, because this truck here isn't as powerful as the Raptor truck. Raptor truck, I think, has like 450 horsepower. I think this truck here has, it's incredible. It's with the electric setup. Does this truck have 500 horsepower? I'd have to kind of look that up. It's just so much information. So in so many aspects, the Ford Raptor truck, in some ways, is it the weaker? I have to look that up. That has a lot of that. Well, it's the torque. So where this truck defeats the Ford Raptor truck, it's the torque. I think this has like 500 foot-pounds of torque. Just so much information. I mean, like these Ford diesels, the Power Stroke 6.7. I mean, I think this thing now is up to like 1,050 in horsepower or something. I mean, it's like 1,050. But I can't even keep track. Is it the 1,050 foot-pounds of torque, or is it 1,050 horsepower? I mean, oh my gosh, it's insane where we are on comparison of these vehicles. If you go 10 years ago, and how strong these vehicles are, like I was talking about yesterday, and how just a 5-year-old truck is just a weak vehicle. I mean, and then the Ford Lightning. This Lightning is the battery pack, but this thing is wicked fast. I mean, it just gets down the road. And, I mean, it really is exhilarating when you get in it and you just punch it. It does throw your neck back and your body back. But there's just no noise to it. So, it's just, But then, the Jeep, I think Jeep is really weak on not putting a more powerful motor. Like, it's just hard to believe that they won't put the V8 392 in this frickin' Jeep Gladiator, but they'll put it in the Wrangler. I mean, why would they put the 5.7 motor in it? It's because this thing really needs more of a V8 motor. The 6-cylinder, the vehicle gets down the road. I mean, it's actually stronger than you feel it is, or would think it is, but it's a weak. I mean, it really is. For this nice size of platform of a vehicle, I'm very surprised that Jeep hasn't made an announcement that for 2024 they're going to put the V8 motor in it. Or I think the inline 6 twin turbo, if it could fit up in there, that would be the better package. So, all right, let's get inside the shop here. Last night, I actually surprised myself. And I thought this would be a good conversation this morning, because even for me, here I have 3 of the Dodge Mopar products. Got the Dodge Charger Super B, which is the V8 392 6.4 liter 485 horsepower motor. And then we come back here and you have two of the Hellcats, but this is a step up on the Hellcats, being it's the Red Eye, aka Demon motor in these. So these are basically the 800 horsepower cars. So looking at these vehicles, and I said to you, which one do you think I've driven the fastest? If I've got in each one of these vehicles, which vehicle? Now, if you watched my video yesterday, you already know there's a speed in this vehicle here that I've hit in a top speed. And so for me, of the three vehicles here, this is the weakest of the vehicles that I have under the Mopar product, under this Charger and Challenger style. So let's do this here. Let's get in. And what's really crazy is last night I was trying to get in these cars, and these cars, the key fobs had actually died on them. And so for me, I was like, say what? That's just hard to believe. And did it do it again? No. So here's the first car that we can check out. And then here is the second car we can check out. So I get both these keys in my pocket. And let's get in to the car here. Sorry for the delay, but I'm having to get my keys and all our stuff. And so what do you think? What would be your guess right now? Does the Gold Rush have the highest mileage, or does the highest mileage, the highest speed on it? Does the Blue Charger, or does the, let's just go Frostbite, Gold Rush, Plum Crazy? Which one has the highest speed that's been kept on the vehicle? So which is the weaker of the three? So let's just turn on this here. Isn't that pretty cool? How you get that SRT Hellcat logo here. And let's see here. So 115 miles an hour. So the Gold Rush is at 115 on the top speed that I've driven this car. All right, let's get out of this one here. And let's get over now to the Frostbite. And once again, if you're watching my channel, you're going to be like, hey, I already know what top speed the Plum Crazy is. If you didn't watch my channel yesterday, then you'll be like, yeah. So Gold Rush, what was that, 115? And let's go over here to the Frostbite and get into this vehicle here. A little tight. Let's tighten this shop here for me. And let's go ahead and get in and see what this one is. So you got to remember the numbers. 115, Gold Rush. The Frostbite is same logo there. Okay. Let's see here. 119. Okay. So right now, this is leading the Gold Rush. All right. So now if you watch my channel, you already know the answer. If you don't watch my channel, so we got 115, 119. So these are the higher performance cars. So you really have to say to yourself, well, obviously the Frostbite has won the challenge. This is the lesser of the two. This thing, in so many ways, has close to half the horsepower. Those are 800. This is 485. Okay. So let's now get in the Plum Crazy. Let's look at the dash. We get in here. Let's see what theme pops up. Charger, see that? Now let's go to the 126. Wow. So the Plum Crazy wins. Even for me last night, I was like, wow, that's hard to believe. I've had some other Hellcats. I've had like 6 Hellcats. And I think the top was 154. I think that was my white one with the stripes on it. That was a Charger narrow body and a wide body. So here is the stronger of the three, and yet the weaker has the highest speed. And so what you learn with these type of really high performance cars, and which I can't emphasize enough. These cars here, you can get at speeds very, very quickly and get very fast speeds and then take it back down very quickly. These cars, it's more challenging. You can get yourself in a lot more trouble, even though this is the weaker car. Some be like, well, how can you get yourself in more trouble in a weaker vehicle that doesn't have as much horsepower? And you're telling me this is actually not going to get you in trouble? Well, what you learn when you drive these cars, you can hit high speeds extremely quickly in this car. So you can go down a road and you can hit over 100 miles an hour very easily, very quickly. This car here, it takes longer to get to those higher speeds. So you need a longer stretch. So you're now exposing yourself even more out on the roads to whatever may be laying up, whatever might be lying up the road, named a police officer. So these faster cars, you can have more free-spirited fun on them because you can get away with very quick high speeds and then take it right back down. Now, I only wish I had my Mustang in here. I only wish I still had my GT500s. I mean, that would be really cool, and I did have that. I did have, believe it or not, up until last spring, I had 2 of these Hellcats, and I had 2 GT500s, a 2020 and a 2022. Just a lot of money and a lot of what-ifs for the Ford brand, and my thoughts were that the GT500s that I own are going to be the weaker of the GT future Mustangs. And I think I'm pretty accurate on that. I think that's going to play out to what I figured. That is, here I get some beautiful brand new GT500s, and I just felt that since Ford is continuing on with the Ice Age, they are going to even bring more power to that Ford GT platform. And there's just no doubt in my mind that GT500 is going to probably be just a slimmed down Ford GTD. And if you know what the Ford GTD is, you'll see what I'm talking about. That's just an all-out race monster, street legal. More incredible here is for the last year run, the Dodge Demon 170 now makes these the weaker of the Hellcat brand. And a lot of disgruntled Dodge Demon 2018 owners at this point, because they truly felt in 2018 when Dodge released the Dodge Demon that would be it. That would be the king of the Hellcat era, and they got it. Not so much. Now, the new Dodge Demon 170 that runs off of E85 gas can get you 1,025 horsepower. You can run the car without E85, but if you want to get 1,025 horsepower, you see what I just said? The brand new Dodge Demon 170. The 170 is for the meaning of the octane of E85. It's 170 octane. That's why they call it 170. Of course, you get 93 octane when you buy gas at a gas station at the highest level. Well, the E85 is 170 octane. So that's why people use it, because it makes it your race monster if it's set up for that style fuel system and all the other dynamics. So the point is, these are now the weaker of the Hellcat brand, and the 2018 Dodge Demon owners, they now have the weakest Demon going out. So wow, Dodge Demon guys feeling, but so far, it doesn't look like that Demon 2018 has really lost value per se. It's still a very sought after vehicle. So for Dodge, it's just incredible to me as I stand here in my garage, and I think my conversation yesterday was so much about the strength of these Mopars. The name, AKA name, is the muscle car. You know, this is, to me, this is the real muscle car. I just don't look at the Camaro and the Mustang as the muscle car. Those are pony cars. Those are more back road cars. This is the total race track, straight line, most power, you know, baddest ass straight line vehicle that per se you could buy for, you know, these most recent years in production, in an affordable production for the average consumer, which was pretty cool, which that's all changed. But yet you have here the weaker of the two. So somebody here would be like, I'd rather have the Hellcats. Why would I want to get the Dodge Super Bee? Like, for people watching my channel, be, why did you buy the Dodge Super Bee? Well, because the Super Bee, it's a package. It's the flare, it's the color, it's the tires and wheels. Even though it's weaker in the powertrain, it has incredible strengths of just fun. This vehicle is incredibly fun to drive. And it's not so much anymore the less expensive vehicle per se, because you could buy a nice used Hellcat, not a red eye per se, of what you would pay for this brand new Super Bee. This is a $70,000+ car. And some people that watch my YouTube channel even referenced out, because they don't know that I own the Hellcats here. They're saying you're an idiot. You've just bought a Super Bee. You could have picked up a nice used Hellcat. Right. You're exactly right. But I already have Hellcats. So, but I like the look, the theme, and you just saw on the speedometer here that this car can hit really good speeds. And once again, the challenge here is, could have I gone to 150, 140? It's a lot longer stretch to get to those type of speeds. You're really setting yourself up for, possible getting yourself in a lot of trouble, because you're having such a long run of having to get to those speeds. And that's why in my other Hellcats I've had, like 154, that was pretty high speed. The whole hood just starts like warping. It just starts, doing this on you. You're just like, is that thing just going to pop open? That's why it's nice to have these hood pins. Not that this car per se has to have them, but at the same time, it's just a really cool look. And it gives you that stronger feeling of the hood not just coming up as you're doing, some pretty crazy speeds in these cars. And what's incredible today is you get on these roads and people are hitting 100 mile an hour. I mean, just in traffic, regular traffic. It's just beyond believable. So now we go here to the weaker of the two, or is it the stronger of the two? So now I found my nice liner Harley Davidson jackets here for under my jacket, and I gotta get my coffee over. Where did I even put my coffee as I continue to talk? I really like to talk. Can you tell that yet, watching my channel? And so, all right, we can look at the cars and take a little drink here. Look at the Triumph. And get my energy going, get my caffeine going. Yeah, get my week this morning, right? So, if you're watching my channel, you know that I have in so many ways been the guy that's so in love with Indian that I've kind of have now tamered that down, and I'm so much more now in love with the Harley Davidson product. And now I in so many ways feel like, is Indian the weaker brand? I tell you what, it's just kind of hard to believe that I would kind of change direction of thinking that Indian may be the weaker of the Harley Davidson brand. I mean, I just wow. But Indian has forced the hand for Harley Davidson to really kind of come to the plate and really give you a better motorcycle. Because Indian, which I so fell in love with back in 2019, it just had so many nice features here. And here they are. This is where the Harley Davidson, prior to the new CVO 2023, they were the weaker brand in my view. I felt like Indian had done such a better job on putting this technology in this motorcycle that gave you more features, creature comfort features, and just the way the bike rides. And so here is where I felt like the brand, the Indian brand came. Look at this here. It's not even loading. So I want to do that. I don't know. So here I am bragging about it, right? And I can't get this damn thing to work. I was going to show you. Oh my gosh. Just incredible. So anyways, I was going to show you how you can go in and you can change your drive modes. But this thing here won't work. Look, my whole thing is gone kaput on me. Kaput. Yeah. So there you go. Here's the Indian brand. Hey, Indian. I don't know, man. This is getting very aggravating with the Indian brand. So I can't even go in and show you how this can set up different suspension settings. And this has electronic suspension. So, oh well. So yeah, Indian's really I'm really starting to lose my love in the Indian product. Here is the Harley product. And once again, don't like this. I don't know how you resolve the power off, power on, but somebody probably smarter than me. But Harley addressed this. Harley has now where you can have the different drive modes over here on the bike, and you can go in. Can we get it here? You know what's really incredible this morning is all the technology just doesn't seem to want to do what I want it to do. So just too complicated. It gets wow. Okay, there it is. Okay, so you can go in and toggle around. No, it just doesn't end. So you can toggle around on these settings, if I can get in there, and you can go up. Well, here's the bike right here. I know it kind of gets Boring, unlocked. Nope, that ain't it. So it's just too much information. Is anybody tired of the information stuff here? Yeah. Anyways, there's a mode setting around here somewhere. Here it is. Here's the mode setting, okay? So rain, road, okay? Sport, rain, road, sport, okay? So Harley has come to the table and they have addressed on how Indian has a better setup on the bike to change the way the bike handles and rides. But not so much because this has an electronic rear suspension. Harley didn't do that. I was kind of surprised in the CVO line, Harley didn't put electronic rear suspension where it really does adjust the different, for the riders, your gear. Maybe the CVO Limited that have a tour pack, maybe they'll do that. I don't know. I doubt it. Anyways, I really think the Lowrider is the stronger of the brand competing against the Chief. So I've said, do I buy Indian Chief or do I buy the Indian Lowrider? But here's the variables. The Chief comes in a lot of different packages. So it really comes down, are you getting the Bobber? Are you getting the Super Chief? Are you getting the Sport Chief? I mean, they're all different types of ways you ride the motorcycle. So now, the Triumph now takes the crown, in my eyes, of being the stronger of all of my motorcycles, and these in so many ways being the weaker of my rides, because this has, I think, like 125 horsepower. I think these are like 120 horsepower. I could be wrong about that. 117 motor, 121 motor. This is like an 1800 cc motor. You come up here, this is a 2500, roughly, like a 2500 cc. Yeah, 2500 cc motor. Think that through. I mean, look at this thing. I mean, it's a rocket. I mean, it's a total rocket. I have to talk about how the rocket here is the far superior compared to any bike that I own, and the power. That I got to talk about the rockets that China now has, the hypersonic rockets. Anybody knows those stories right now? So, walk around the garage, kind of summing it up down here. The weaker, the stronger. I can't emphasize enough. If anybody came to me and said, "What would you buy in the Dodge brand that would be affordable?" And that's a tough answer now because this car is so much fun. So much fun, but the amount of money they want for these cars now, it's borderline the same price as a nice used Hellcat. Wow. But I enjoy this. I mean, so I think this is a great car. So now, talking about the weakness, think about this. When you go to a Dodge dealer a year from now, or you can even go next spring, just depends on how the market conditions are of leftover Dodge products. But what's incredible is how Dodge is such the muscle brand product, and it's literally getting ready to be the weaker of the big three product line and performance line. Did you just hear me? Beyond believable that it could just be a short 1 year blip, and I could be a little wrong, and maybe that I don't realize that 2024 Dodge is going to bring the Daytona to the production line. I don't know that. But for the moment, all we know is Dodge is going to have the Durango as their so-called muscle performance vehicle. Well, it's not a car, it's an SUV. So Dodge is totally next year going to be a weak brand where you're not going to have these high-performance cars in their showrooms new. I think you'll see a lot of used ones. I think the phone calls are going to start happening. People calling people have the cars, like dealers want to get them in the showrooms to lure people in, because it's all about luring people in to hopefully bring them to maybe not so much buy that car, but then they look over here and they end up buying this car, because this car here is going to be a $100,000 car minimum in the showroom. This car here used would probably be like 60 grand. That would be my guess. And tell you what, it's the morning of confusion for me, because here I'm walking around, right? And I'm not even, there's my freaking, there's my stars and stripes, home of the free, because of the brave. Boy, if that doesn't need to be preached more than ever in our country, I don't know what does. But anyway, so, wow. So Dodge is going to be the weaker brand from competing against the Ford and Chevy brand. So let's get up here in the, had a gentleman reach out and wants a Ice Age TV sticker. He wants 2 of them. I think it's pretty cool. He wants one for his Dodge Durango, and he wants one for his Honda Goldwing. I love it. I think that's really cool. My stickers are populating from like Washington State, Colorado, now Georgia, Canada. So my stickers are now, slowly populating throughout the country, and even not in the country, being Canada. Wow. Pretty cool for those out there watching my channel. Hey, pups, is it cold? Probably is. Somebody's missing. Somebody missing? It's like, there is Tango. He just literally like blends in. I mean, isn't that something? The dogs. All right, let's get down here. He's going on the weaker, stronger. Yeah, do you feel weak? And that's what I thought about, was where we are today, in today's world environment. I mean, the weakness. I mean, it's just crazy. Let me get my other heater on here. Sorry for all the moving around, and I got all my keys now in my pocket. I got to remember to shake those out with the Hellcats. So weird. Last night, all the red keys for my Hellcats, all the batteries went dead. What's that all about? Is somebody hanging out in front of my house reading all the transmitter codes to steal them, I guess? I don't know what's going on, right? Like I said the other day, I have so many freaking cars. How could you decipher which one you're reading? I mean, the person's going to have like 20 different devices to read the car, But even at that, it's just so much technology out there. People can plug in to the ECM module underneath your dash. They can read the codes. Bing, 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 bing. It's done. I mean, it's the technology today. We all know if somebody wants something bad enough, they're going to get it. So you've seen this one guy on that YouTube channel talking about buying a pouch for the key so you can't read your transmitter and walking around with a pouch to get your key out. Yeah, could you imagine how many pouches I would have? Yeah, forget that. They're like, anyways, whole point is, if somebody wants something bad enough, that's the way. That's just we know that criminals prey on the weak. I mean, that's usually the way it is. I mean, you watch these social media videos and see people being beat the crud out of. Usually, it's the weaker of those that are getting. It's all different. But anyways, so the Ford, Dodge, Chevys, and that's what I'm just saying is that Dodge, their product is the Dodge Hornet, the SUV RAV4 lookalike vehicle that's coming to the market. That's supposed to be the excitement for Dodge. And so it's like, wow, how weak will Dodge be coming until next year? I mean, sincerely, what is Dodge? What if you're an employee at Dodge? But at the same time, I think to myself, what if Dodge at the last second reverses its total ICE to the future of these Mopar products to being more ICE and hybrid packages that offer 800 to 1,000 horsepower vehicles? I think, oh my gosh, Dodge is going to be on fire. The muscle will be back. And I'm sure many people would be more than happy to have a hybrid setup, all-wheel drive Dodge Charger. I mean, that's going to be an incredible performing vehicle versus so many people are not excited about that electric Dodge package. And sure, if they bring it to market, will it sell? It will. It'll be a niche. But I think a lot of people will opt to get the new breaking news. Dodge is going to offer the Elephant in so many ways motor. It's not the Elephant, but it's the Demon. The Demon 170 crate motor is coming available first of the year. So did you hear me? If you want that Dodge Demon 170 motor for $27,000 and like $700, basically $28,000, you can buy from Mopar Direct that new Demon motor. Wow. I mean, now if you opt not to have the 3-liter supercharger with 117 millimeter throttle assembly on it, whatever that all that language is, if you opt not to have that for like 17 grand, you can have then the motor. I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, think that through. Like, even for me, let's just say I went out and spent the money for the motor and put it in that Super Bee just for the hell of it, just to have a project. I mean, but the drive line, there's a lot of the axles. There's so many other things that have to be incorporated in that car. Your intercoolers. I mean, there's a lot that goes on. Will it fit in there correctly? I would think it would. I don't know though. I mean, I'm sure it would have to. But anyways, wow. So here's the concern for me: how long will that motor be available? So this was just released. This information was just released that Dodge is going to offer that 170 motor. And once again, the 170 means it has to run on the E85 fuel to get the most power out of it. Like 1,025 horsepower, I believe, is the max horsepower of that car. But wow, if you have, an older, I mean, the thing is, if you have an older Mopar product from 70s, I mean, you're going to have to reframe that thing and it just isn't that simple just to throw the motor in there and, oh, you're good to go. But if you have a Dodge Hellcat and you really want to get that set up and in so many ways have that Demon knockoff, wow. Now, my prediction is you won't be able to get the motor. My prediction is people are going to buy those motors. They're going to disappear. And that's what happened on the last run with the Elephant motor, which was the 426 motor. And when they released that motor sold out instantly. And then I've talked about this before. There's horror stories of guys buying these motors, taking them to a shop to have them put in their car, and the shop gets broken into and the motor's gone. I mean, it isn't like that's rampant, but these, it's just wow. So is that exciting? I mean, I think that's extremely exciting if you're a true motorhead and you're truly into spending the money to mod your car to be unique to yourself, where you're not the weaker of the brand, you're the stronger of the brand. Now here's the update on my Mustang. There's nothing going on. Yeah. Right now, the dealer told me at first they're going to work on the car Monday. Didn't happen. Then he told me he's going to work on Tuesday. Didn't happen. Then I called him yesterday, and it still hasn't happened yesterday. Now today's Thursday. So apparently my service guy, Dave, I don't think he watches my channel. I don't know how he had time running a service department at a major car dealership. Somebody's always tapping me on the shoulder. And so I think that he mentioned yesterday, hopefully he would maybe start taking it apart yesterday afternoon. I really wanted to go by there though, and I was wanting to do a video of the components of the car up in the lift, and to look at the car and share with others, the project that's going on. So yesterday, and in fact today, I need to be over in that area to take care of some problems. So I think I'll just drive by there instead of calling them. I'm just going to show up, and I'd really like to be able to do some video time with that. So as usual, I like to talk, right? And I like to share ideas and views and thoughts. And I just thought to myself, weak, what is, and you know what? I looked up this morning. I always like to look up the definition of the things I kind of, oh, here it is. Here it is. Breaking news. Project is starting. Look at this here. Look at this here. Here it is. How about that, huh? As I'm sitting here talking about it, they're getting ready to take it apart, man. Yeah, what's the bill going to be on that thing? Yeah, am I going to feel pretty weak financially by the time they put this thing, take it apart and put it together? See, that's where it gets expensive. It's taking the car apart. You can ask anybody that builds houses or does renovation. It's like, build a house is one thing. Having to renovate a house is a whole different project because you have to tear everything down to build it back up. And that's where it gets extremely expensive. And that's why this year, they're going to be like, hey, man, we have 4 hours of just taking the car apart. And we're going to have another 8 or 10 hours or maybe whatever, just putting it back together. So, wow. But, hey, he said to me yesterday that his goal was to try to get this thing back to me by Friday. Wow. That would be really exciting. So, anyway, so here we'll go back to my word here. So, here is the definition from the English dictionary. You really can't see it per se, but what it says here is what is its adjective? The word weak, W-E-A-K. It says it means that not very confident or determined. So they are often frightened or worried or easily influenced by other people. And I thought to myself this morning, boy, oh boy, where we are today in the social media and the power of the media more than ever in my lifetime, boy, that is such a strong statement of what weak is, and we all are witnessing it more than ever in our lifetime of just that we were seeing individuals that are not very confident or determined, so that they are often frightened or worried or easily influenced by other people, and that's a huge challenge more than ever. And that's what I was talking about yesterday, kind of wrapping up my conversation yesterday. Is thank God because so many people staying strong on not bending to a green agenda, and it's starting to see that the strong are slowly prevailing, and that's what we have to continue to do. Because I talked to myself yesterday on the week conversations, the UAW has the UAW made the big three weaker in so many ways, and don't take the conversation for anybody out there that's a union person or making more money. What I mean by that is, has it opened the door where Ford and General Motors and Stellantis are going to be more challenged to compete in the world market to bring their products that are reasonably priced? Because as anybody here is aware of the environment, I'm sure a lot of people feel like their incomes and their powers to buy is weaker now than it has been in modern times. That's a big challenge for a lot of people because everything's gotten so much more expensive. So for you, everybody knows that money makes you feel stronger or money makes you feel weaker, and it's a very easy explanation. When you have tons of money, people have a different type of look about them. They have a different attitude, different personality. When a person is very weak, then it's just exactly what I just explained to you in the definition of weakness. And it's that, fear, the unknown, not as confident. And sadly, in society, mankind abuses the weak of others. And so for us, right now, where we are, we're, I think, more than ever in the most modern times, experiencing the feeling of weakness like we haven't seen in, I would say, like 20 years. I've brought this up many times on how there's so many younger people in this country that haven't been through what I went through with the 911 attacks, with the sniper shooter in this area, with the anthrax. A lot of people don't even know what anthrax is. And so it's just, to me, it's like, wow, then the 2008-9 financial crisis. And so during those times, you feel weak because you don't know what's going to happen. You just it's much more challenging to feel good about yourself or good about the future because of all of the negative things going on around you. And now more than ever, where are we right now? It just really is, to me, befuddling that so many people are wanting to continue to kind of keep what's in place on elections and kind of keep it going that direction. I think, wow. I mean, do you actually feel stronger? I mean, I really would be so interested to hear from anybody on my channel, anybody watching my video, and say, I feel stronger than ever in my lifetime. Even though everything's so much more expensive, even though the crime is through the roof, even though the immigration of legals is coming in this country like never ever seen, and the unknown of who these people are, that what is really the undermining of our country going on. The education sector seems to be in a fray. The racism is at an all-time high. And so I just would be so curious to really, say, my financial income doesn't get me what I used to get. I mean, so do you really feel stronger? I mean, do you really feel a lot better? And that's why I'm really taken back, where I think, are we really going to see the elections, the local elections here in my state, continue to kind of bring the same what's going on? And then next year, when we come to the new election of a new administration or the same administration, people really feel that strongly that that's the right direction. When I think that, and more than ever, I think we feel weak. And that's why I was talking about the rocket down there. I mean, this is news, and I hear all the time people that will tell me our military is the most powerful in the world. And there's no need to be concerned about our powers to be, because we can just go and exterminate and eliminate anybody we want. Well, there's a whole article in the Wall Street Journal this morning that I read in great detail of how China and Russia, but more so China, has the hypersonic missile. I mean, not supersonic, hypersonic. And we realize or not, a hypersonic missile that China actually has already tested goes 15,000 miles an hour. It can be anywhere within hours' reach of any target in the world, I mean, long distance. And I didn't even really realize this myself. Our military doesn't have one of these. We do not have that. Our country does not have a hypersonic missile. And a hypersonic missile, it's such a more of a straight line versus a ballistic missile, more goes up, arches up, and then comes down. The hypersonic, it can avoid all of the technology that we have to take it down before it gets to us because it's so fast, and it can fly under the radar. And they're already saying that should China ever use these, they would just take out our military navy like you can't believe. And yet here we are, and so the point of this conversation really is are we really the stronger of the two? Are we now the weaker of the world? I think we're the weaker. I truly believe that China now is the superpower in so many ways and is stronger than our country, and we're the weaker ones to be. I mean, wow. As we argue amongst ourselves and separate ourselves, just be unbelievable. And sadly, to me, so many people support the powers to be that enrage this stuff. So leave it at that. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't think I'm some radical guy just talking about the way it is and wants to, you start talking this type of talk, and the YouTube watches this stuff, and then all of a sudden they think that I'm promoting hate, or I'm promoting, divisions, or I'm promoting some philosophy or ideology. I'm just talking about the way it is. So I'm not here to upset people. I'm just sharing my views and ideas. And it gets to be a very long video, so I appreciate everybody that can watch the video as long as you did. But once again, anybody out there wants to share the Ice Age TV information, and you're a promoter of the internal combustion engine age, just reach out to Ice Age TV comments at gmail.com and give me your name and address. And it doesn't get, that's all private information. I don't share this information with anybody. So then I will just mail you this sticker to your residence or your business or wherever, and you can put it on your whatever you want to do, and there you go. So everybody, thanks for watching my channel, and hey, it's exciting news. The Mustang. Hope I can get some video here of the Mustang being taken apart today and share that with you. So have a great day. God bless. Stay safe. And man, this country needs to pray for a miracle more than ever in our lifetime.